Firstly, happy Pride Month. What are your thoughts on wokeism?
Um, I I've I try to think about it as what it really is, which is Marxism. It's very easy to sound hyperbolic calling things Marxist and communist, but I think when you understand the roots of wokeism, essentially, I tend to just call it social justice now because I think there's been people on in the quote unquote woke crowd will constantly say, well, define woke and all this kind of stuff and play word games again, linguistic games, when we all know who we're talking about. But so I try to just talk about social justice and social justice activists. But yeah, if you look at the underlying narratives essentially of this ideology, which is that society is built upon fundamental power structures, and those power structures, the only reason they exist is to be put in place to essentially facilitate oppression, and the only difference between, say, communism, which was that there was a class war between um, the proletariats and the bourgeoisie, essentially the middle class and the lower class. They've switched it, and this comes from postmodernism. I actually did a YouTube video on this. If you ever, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called "Where Do Woke Ideas Come From?" and how back in the 1970s there was a bunch of French philosophers that birthed postmodernism, and they all had Marx. They were all self-declared Marxists, and the assertion from postmodernism is that there is no such thing as objective reality. It's all subjective experience. They focus a lot on identity politics and stuff like that as well, essentially like normative behaviors. So really what it is this social justice slash woke ideology is a mix of Marxism and postmodernism, in the sense that they've changed the original narrative of oppression lying between the proletariat and the bourgeoisie to between identity markers. They just say that certain identities essentially make up these classes. That okay, it's the bourgeoisie is. I've made this joke in a video before, but it's like the bourgeoisie is the straight cisgendered straight white Christian male, and it's like the proletariat is the black Muslim trans fat disabled woman.